Hi guys, so a quick exercise video here focused on the hips. We're going to do a short warm-up, a few exercises focusing on gluteus, medius and minimus, muscles side of the hips, and then a couple stretches. So let's get started. We'll start our warm-up with a few breaths. Fingertips down to the mat. Inhale up to the ceiling. Exhale down. 2 more times like that. Inhale up, bringing oxygen into our body. Exhale down, tall spine. 1 more here. Nice. If you're sitting up on a cushion like I am, we're going to move that off to the side. And then we're going to move into a boat position. So we're going to have knees bent, core engaged. So think about a little bit of a scoop of the lower abdominals in and up, lifting the chest. And I'm going to come back onto my forearms. Coming up on toes, walk your toes a little bit closer towards you. With our legs zipped together, feet touching, knees touching, moving knees side to side. So letting the knees come over to one side, inhale through center, and exhale to the other side. So this is just part of warming things up a little bit more. Just allowing some movement through the hips, gentle movement side to side. And I'll do 1 more to each side. Coming back to center. And then let's make our way onto our side, lying on our side body. So now we're going to get into a little bit of strengthening here. So you can support your head either with your elbow bent or with your head right down on your arm. And we're going to bend both knees. So bring your knees slightly forward so that your hips and your feet are approximately in line with each other. We are going to keep our hips stacked on top of each other, so I'm not letting this top hip roll back. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. So we're starting with the classic clamshell exercise, keeping feet together. I'm just going to lift and lower this top knee. So I'm not trying to get more height by rolling back and opening that top hip. I'm keeping my hips stacked. I'm focusing here on these side of the hip muscles, gluteus medius, gluteus minimus. These are stabilizing muscles, and I want this focus and strengthen these muscles because when our hip stabilizers are strong and functioning properly, they keep our knees in alignment, keep our lower back in alignment. They reduce a lot of excessive movement in those other joints. So really important functionally. So next time your knee comes down, pause, lift both feet in the air. Feet are going to stay lifted and together, and we go back to lifting and lowering that top knee. Still with my hips stacked. So I should be feeling this in the outside of my hip. Of course, also very important to strengthen our gluteus maximus, our butt muscle, and that can be done many ways, including squats and lunges, bridge pose, also very important functional muscle. So we're going to add on to this one. Next time I lift my knee, extend the leg to the ceiling, bend the knee, feet come together and lower. Again, lift your knee, extend to the ceiling, bend, feet touch and lower, and keep going like this. We'll do a couple more. Nice, and then let the feet come down. Prop yourself up on your forearm here, and we'll do a dynamic flow that's going to stretch through the side of the body into the hip. I'm going to have top arm to the ceiling, hover that top leg with my foot flexed. As I bring my leg forward, top arm reaches behind, and then we'll switch that. So the leg moves back as the arm comes forward. And let's continue with the arm and leg moving in opposition. So this is getting into these lines of connective tissue through our body, the fascia, which is so important to stretch, but we don't often feel really what's going on in the fascia of our body. So nice to add a few of these kind of stretches into a routine. Let's go one more each way. Nice. And then we'll go over to the other side to repeat all of that. No matter what we do the same things on both sides. Starting with knees bent. Knees are slightly forward, feet in line with hips. Hips are stacked. And here we go with our clamshell. So you're always breathing, trying to keep a bit of that engagement of the core muscles. Next time I lower my knee, lift both feet, and then lift and lower that top knee. So these exercises, this routine, these exercises and stretches could be done before going out for a run or a hike, or you could do these exercises on your off days, the days you're not going out for an outing. So let's add on that final variation. Next time I lift my knee, extend leg to the ceiling, bend your knee, feet come together, lower the knee. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. And keep going with control. So this is not about speed. We're not trying to do this as fast as we can. We're trying to do it really with control, thinking about what's going on in the body. We'll do a couple more. Nice. And let the knee come down, let your feet come down, extend your legs. We'll go into that flow. So up on the forearm, top arm to the ceiling, hover your top leg comes forward as your arm moves back. And then go the other way. Arm and leg moving in opposition. And if you get to one spot and it feels like you want to stay there and hold for a few breaths, just listen to what your body is calling for. So this is really stretching through the whole body. We're also getting that nice stretch through those hip muscles. Last time each way. Nice. We'll finish with a stretch on our back. So go ahead and lie down on your back. Focus back to these hips. And I'm going to give you two options here. So we're lying on our back with knees bent. Cross your right ankle over the left knee and let the knee fall out to the side. Now if you have tighter hips, and my hips are feeling pretty tight today, so I might just decide to stay right here. I can put this right hand on my thigh and gently push it out to the side, and then just breathe. If you're more flexible and you're not feeling too much of a stretch here, the way you add on is you're lifting that left foot up off the mat and then interlacing your hands around the left thigh, keeping the head down, keeping the shoulders relaxed, and then you can stay here and breathe. So either position. This one's feeling a little bit intense for me today. So my option, I'm going to stay right here. You choose where you want to be. It's always so important just to have options and listen to your own body. We want stretches to feel gentle, like we can feel the stretch, but it should not be causing discomfort or pain. Otherwise our body's tensing up and then it's not going to be able to relax into the stretch. So big breaths. Maybe take 2 more breaths here. And then I'll release that. And we'll do the other side, left ankle over right knee, letting that knee come out to the side. And then just checking in. Do I want to stay here? Do I want to lift that right foot, interlace my hands around my thigh? And the 2 sides can feel really different. This side is more flexible for me. I would probably be okay to stay here, but I'm just going to do the same that I did on the other side. And then just tuning into your breath. For a guideline in stretches, I often think of 5 really full inhales and exhales. And you can always stay longer if it's just feeling really like a nice place to stay. And maybe 1 more breath. And if your foot's lifted, you could bring that down, and let's release. Go ahead and roll over and come back up to seated. Finishing how we started, we'll finish with 3 breaths. Inhale up, exhale down, again. Last one here. Thank you for joining me. Reach out with any questions.